kutoti zvinodaiso mntu asatombovunga kuti kuvhaira chichichi. I was fighting bigger things. I was fighting things bigger than demons. Western Cape Storm was bad, y'all. It was bad. Naswatozoclear but itachifighta zvinhu zvihombe kutodarika izvi kufighta lighting yestorytime. Ndo yanonzi maluxuries muripabata. And yeah, but tadzoka. Papa chitoda like ukana story 90 kgs and above papa katokushatira. Saka tatitori pamawano we fighting for our lives ukunzoko. Kana one American Cape Town, please hug them. They've just been going through a lot. Western Cape, sorry. They've just been going through a lot. But you will see me on your screen because what? I'm back at it. You see me on your FYP, YC, YMCMB, AMG, Walla 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 or Young Mulla Baby because it's my OG, my favorite Njuzu story time. Let's get it. And I want to thank y'all for subscribing to my YouTube channel. Tanata Marimira, if you haven't subscribed, please go and subscribe. You will see why you need to subscribe. I'm just saying. But anyway, let's get it. I know I'm complaining on sound. I'm really sorry. Sometimes my decibels will be low and then the sound your background will be high. I will fix that. I promise y'all. Put that on my life. You know what I mean? When you don't see Tishamuti Annie, are you okay? Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? Alright. So nye Annie Antaroti Akajarwa Goreden Zara. So Goreden Zara, that was in the early 90s, okay? Pashishins Goreden Mashu Chichi like Kwakashata, time yo Goreden Zara. But anyway, I know Taroti Mugorero Renzara Mbuya Vake Vakambo Famba because Vana Vambuya Vake meaning could like Anababa Vake Vangavari 20. Gogo had 9 and the other wife had 9 and then the newest wife angani 2 at that time. So Gogo akambo famba chiti, you know, truda kuti timboona kuti chichingaiti kuti nzara ipere. Kunaona anoziya zvaitika gorere nzara, like it was bad. Gorere mashorere, it was bad, y'all. So ndopo kune droughts and famines and just research on it, okay? Because this truda it'll go on the Njuzu story side of that story, not the famines and the droughts and the walla walla, okay? Santaroti gogo akambofamba because everyone angari pakufamba kubvunza kuti chichiri kunyatsoitika gorere nzara iri chichiri kunyatsoitika, you know what I mean? So anyway gogo vakafamba kaudzwa kuti kuri kunzi kune madroughts nemafamines but menyi mime hamumbofi makapwa, tsime renyu harifi rakapwa. So at this time gogo didn't clock it and click it kuti what thing you mean na? And she was just like, oh, okay, I mean, but like we're going through it just like y'all. And she's just like, whatever. And then another time Dova Famba Photo Vanzi, you know what? Amumbofi makapwa mune mvura isingapere pamba penyu, you know what I mean? And at that time her dad was obviously trying to have a baby na mai vacho, like the mama was trying to get pregnant at that time. So apana uzobeta nguva she got pregnant and ndovazvara chichichichi in a space of months and whatnot. Ndovazvarwa mwana yazvarwa zvinotaura kunzi kuzvara kwakaita mama va Damtan, Annie, are you okay? So kuzvarwa kwakaitwa Annie, are you okay? Zvinotaura kunzi so kudhara zvaitika ndezvekuti hanti zvainzi munhu unosungirwa chichichi, but at that particular time mama vaAnnie havana kuenda unosungirwa. Reason being kumusha kwavo, not like in her family but munharaunda yekumusha kwavo kwainetsa nyaya yevaroyi. Listen, I don't mean to out y'all because y'all kind of my neighbors but yeah, vangari kuwedza and you know what they talk about saka vanga kanzi ngasaite senga vasawi kumasungiro kunoko because if anything happens nemwana wemkwasha vanenge vari pamahwani, you know what I mean? So anyway, ndobva vaita sei, ndobva vagarira chikomba kwana adedi are you okay? Right? So vari ikoko, you know, you'll be doing your makoti duties, murora uchita say. But panga kurirwa amwena akati no, murora just sit down, take a chill pill. And she was just like, mama ndikonogara, let me just keep doing work. You know how it is. So muswakazvarwa Annie, are you okay? Mama vake vakaenda with the other ladies vepamusha, so vaigara panenge pakomboni pekuti pane like vanoshanda pamaprazi ipapo pepamba panani vevabereki va Annie, are you okay? Ana gogo vanenge vachigara ipapo. So munotoenda makawanda, vaitoenda vari kana 8 vakadzi vanenge vachinonochera mvura. So zvinotaura kunzi vakaenda vari 8 kudaro and she was the only pregnant one, or rather let's say heavily pregnant one, because unombe yanga yakutosvika. And panotaura kunzi she had a very small bucket. So ndobva vaenda kumvura kweke kumugodi kunochera mvura kwaifanira kunocherwa because at that time mvura yainetsa, like I said, ranga rigori rimwe rere. So munenge mune ma specific designated areas amenzi munochera nana mambo community. Vasvika ikoko mama vaeni munhu isarochera mvura and she had the smallest bucket, but zvinotaura like time yakasimudzwa bucket ramama vaeni aivo okay like raidhaiwa kaudaiswa chichichi, so time yavakasimudza ivo like vakuritora bucket riri munotaura kunzi the bucket was small, munotaura kunzi mune nyoka yakabuda. So that snake was long, like nyami, I'm joking. It was just a long snake. It was kind of silverish, whitish. Okay, guys, I sometimes some people are dumb. Obviously, these things I'm telling you, it's not any who witness them. Some of you are so dumb, like, hey, I know she remember saying like, y'all can be so dense, and it really gets me. Like sometimes I'm like, don't forget the emotions across the road. What's really going on? Anywho, child, nyoka and get this silverish, grayish, whitish. I don't know what y'all call that snake, okay? But I'm gonna just call it a white mamba. Anyway, that snake was like, okay, let's say this is a bucket. Okay, let's say this is a bucket, right? So the nyoka was like, psh, like tombo tuko kumagar nyoko. And then Magarad Mgati, and then Yengekare Biro Daiso, like, and then everyone was like, oh! And then she was like, chi, and then people ran away, and someone like, oh, nyoka. So she just didn't know how to react, because she's like, ipi. Apparently, she could not see the snake. You know what I mean? So Vanessa thought nyoka, and she's like, ipi. And then just like that, people just ran away, around, and she just put the bucket down nicely. Apparently, she put the bucket down nicely, and she's like, nyoka ikopi, and no one could see the snake, but everyone could swore they saw that snake, and they're like, no, my anyhow, you okay? We saw the snake. Anyway, pakazo daidza vanhu kuti uyemone chichichi, and it just so happened kuti at that time, because people will be like paranoid and worried and whatnot, rightfully so, you know what I mean. So paninganga paninganga yengotendera muarea zvezvoti vanenge vachingotaura chichichi, sometimes even anatsikamtanda they'll be just waka like they talk say nawahala with the face na yosheketa donkozam, like these things are happening because kuna nakashireketa, so that we just all over. And there's a guy who came around, he was a nganga, or rather let's just say spiritualist of atongoti mwanenyi asvika kai mwanenyi kumadziva ita sei asvika, and then she was like and just like that this guy's like, we need to rush you home ndobva watomanyiswa kumba, and munizobva tabatsira vatu kutovasimudza, not like kutakura munhu, so kutovasimudza, like how ana can be like in the stage like that crowd surfing type shit, ndozvanga vakati like kutosimudzwa, and then ndobva vasvika kumba ndobva tushurwa mvura, and stuff like that. And yakatoita zvekutotushurwa kwetoti like yakabudayika vakaita zvekutushurwa mvura, and just like that okay akabuda, but akabuda ari musek rake, like babies will be in a sack. So paipa zvinonzi the water, my water broke, oh my gosh, that sack inenge yatushuka, and but iye akabuda like ari intact, like karimuka sack. And it was said ningange kuti child, you is blessed, this really is the child of the water. And he actually has a water name, let's just call him Mami Water. All right, can we call him Mami Water? Actually, I think I'm liking Mami Water more, so let's just call him Mami Water. So anyway, Mami Water was born, and then the nganga said a particular person needs to like tushura this, because they say it's good luck, and it's not something that always happens. I was talking about this at 6 read. I didn't want to spoil it for you girls, so I don't want to tell you. But anyway, pakatsvagwa a particular person kuti atushire mvura, and it just so happened kuti ndiani ndikoko amai vababa anyhow okay / Mami Water, she's the one vakatushira mvura. And that's when she just started having those flashbacks of those prophecies she was told kuti mumbo femakapwa and stuff like that. So anzivaita like commanding that vachi to shura that particular sack, and then vananyamkuta ninganga chichinobva wabatsira, and then mwana ubva kutwapukutwa and whatnot. And yeah, that's how we got Annie out into the world, right? So takuda kuti tichimuvha tichienda like kunyaya yake sometimes I find it cute when I have to do this type of backstory so that we can get the story. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just feel like just story time doesn't start when someone is born. It starts before a person is born. And it's nice when people are told what happened before they were born, when they're like kids of the water. Okay. So anyway, that's any story. Now let's go. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Ariel is such a lady. I totally forgot to tell you, Kuti. Let's just back it up a bit before I could remember. So at this time, she was 4 years old. She does not remember the story. She has no memory of all at all. Chirongo, no memory at all. But her mom always used to tell her, no garanai. You know what I mean? So Antarati, when she was 4, Shinotaronzi, her mom and the rest of the workers, I already told you the type of setup. So Ananinga agenda, you know, best bet. One men, no watch, I'm like 20, because these women will be going with all their kids, and you know what I mean. So Vangoka Wanda and Shinotaronzi time yavakaenda, right? You know, like women usually lead because I never just don't watch my bucket, you know, that type of thing. Don't my summer bucket up, I don't watch a data so. So when you know, kids are just happy to be there. They are not rushing to do anything. So when normally they will be behind. Or, excuse me, sometimes when they are too excited, they're in front because they can't wait to connect us. But she was behind. So vanhu vakatosvika paipai ndobva vatoisa machira paipai zvoda kuwachwa chichi because you know mune muchiwacha muri paruware. So vamwe vanhu vandipinoziva kuna vamwe vanhu vanoda kukwizira paruware like so, and some people vanoda kungoisa jira paruware because panomara idombo, remember vanenge vada kuisa jira kuti vawache zvavo vachivari ipapo. So vanhu vatoita setup dzavo dzitotange kuwacha, vanhu vatoisa sipo dzavo chichi, vanhu vatotanga kutowacha paipai. So zvinotaura kunzi time yakazosvika Annie okay and her friends pakaitika champupuri. So champupuri ichi chinotaura kunzi chakatora in particular jira raishandiswa na Annie okay. Annie okay anga nekagumbezi kake kababy blanket, handiti mind you, baby blanket rari nemvura because like hanzi rakatota, not baby blanket like baby, it was small, you know what I'm trying to say. So hanzi ranga riri blue, this type of blue. I like to believe it's this type of blue. Blue, sky blue. No, it's not, but you get what I mean. I didn't get it blue. I'm just trying to give you the shade because it was light. So this particular gumbezi rari drenched in water but rakatorwa nemhepo. Kwakaita champupuri chanzi chaita kuti chichidzika pasi, you know, like a talawili type shit. Chichisvika pasi chakabva mudenga chichidaiswa kusvika pasi. Pasi ipapo pachakasvika bva chadhonza gumbezi, and that gumbezi went like kuita kunge riri kukava rwizi ndobva ranodonhera pakati perwizi. Champupuri chebva chati chichipinda negumbezi rememe. Just like that blanket disappeared. Now I'm gonna tell you the story about this blanket that disappeared. I know y'all like stories. Anyway, ndokutongotorwa kwakaitwa blanket rani Annie, are you okay? So that's when it clicked in her mom's mind, kuti shit, I have the child of the water at the water, she needs to go. And everyone was like, damn girl, you guys to bounce back home. So she says a couple of kids, you need to go back home, Nani. Na Annie, are you okay? You know, so they had to go back home. Na Annie, are you okay? So she says no one really enjoyed being around her because the way Kumuchako Kwakuri like built and whatever, you are bound to come across to Marukova, to Twinzizi, you know, that type of thing. So people really did not enjoy being around her. So as a result, she just ended up being more aligned to older women, like her grandma age type of women, right? So but you know, she says at 6 years old, she just started picking up people's totems, like munaka yedzrode but she gets zvakanaka chira, she gets zvakanaka move, you know, that type of thing. And vanhu zvaivashoka, how you know my totem? She'd be like, I don't know, it's just a thing, you know. So vanhu vakayetsura vanoshandisa bute, okay, vanoshandisa bute vakayetsura, she would be like, she gets zvakanaka ningi, you know, that type of thing. So that's when people started saying, oh no, you definitely, there's something on her. Guys, please note, vanhu vanozvaravani that sake of theirs, that amniotic sake of theirs, they have a gift. Like most of the time they say there's a gift. So people just started believing Uti, this child definitely has a gift, you know. Besides they just believe there's a certain gift in Bahari, and you know, most of the time. Okay, so when I tell you I've been talking for the past 10 minutes, um, and my iPhone decided to suppress that video and like toss it in the garbage because it's saying you do not have enough storage. Mind you, I pay storage 1 terabyte a month. I don't know what happened. So now because like I had to rewatch this video like Nasira Papi, you know how irritating that is. Anyway, ndakuti angangotama ndichembere and stuff like that. Now I'm just gonna fast track because I've been talking for the past 10 minutes and 20 seconds and my video was just tossed somewhere because of storage. Yeah. So, shit. Now let's just go to the part that she remembers, okay? So at this time, she says, I was 7 years old. Any okay was 7 years old. So I told Tamani Shanga Dake ko ground, during break time, break time, yek 10, 11, yeah. So I'm going to chill with my friends again, they're talking and talking, and then just like that, she heard someone saying, Ina, you okay? Calling her name, Ina, you okay? / mommy water, Ina, you okay? And then she was just like, because it was just in her head. And she remembers, I just see my friends, I got like, I'm gonna be back. And then I end up again. But she just kept walking until at that time I was in trance and I just kept walking. Pitong and I get rich, but the girl was like, hey, your price. And she's like, no, it's not what I get. Then Ovaramba Kamira, and she remembers like in front of her. She remembers like when that name was called and she answered that Jifamba. She recalls like 3 ladies vachi irapta vamvrot, and then like and then they were in front of her like, and then they were like, "Any, are you okay?" Like confirming her name. She's like, "Yeah," and she remembers them just looking at her like, Tasha, and she's just like, okay, and then they left. So pakasvika kumba avaudza gogo namama kuti guys ndozvaitika chichi, and then they're like, okay, so this is definitely a message. Tozotaura tozoenda kwasekuru mangwana and find out what's going on. So it said kuti that night kwakanaya and kwanga kwane nguva kusina kunaya. Zviye kutoti kunyatsonaya zvekuti munoziva kuti zvirimwa zvedu zvaguta, and everyone was like, wow. So the next morning ngange muraini mavheyo vati maita basa chi vekumvura makatigera mvura makaita basa makadaira like pakakudana ichichichi. That's when the nganga said, sometimes it's not about chichichi, just answer when they call you. She they called and she picked up. She's like, yeah, what's up? So that's just basically them saying, you are our child, we'll take care of you and your family. So this is just a little talking to say, hey baby. So that's how y'all got the water. So it got to a point here kuti pese vanhu pavanenge vakuda kurima vaidedza any like not kuti family yake chete mu area mavo, people would just call her vasati vatanga kurima like to bless the soil yeparuda kuitwa zvirimwa. So she would just basically go there and just declare kuti whatever chicharimwa panapa chichawana goho goru, and stuff like that. And it said kuti panenge achitaurwa daro ainaya, not like kunaya kwatoita mate, like kutonaya, literally kutonaya, and that's how people would know kuti yes. So she was basically just blessing the people, and she would even be told kuti mangwana wachazonoblessa kwananingi, mangwana wachazonoblessa kwananingi, that type of thing. Until there was a particular day maneru, like when you're preparing to go to school tomorrow, chinzi polisha boots it also. So time here polisha boots, she recalls like voice right omuti, it's useless usa polisha boots, don't do that. And she was just like, huh? And then over so ndrufanaita say, and then over nzirara, and then she slept. So arikuope, she recalls those 3 ladies as well doing that thing. And are you okay? And then she remembers just waking up akangogara, so like murumake, and she saw those ladies coming. But vakamira like side to side, vakatarisana like forming a tunnel, and they came a very beautiful old lady angakabata trimbo ye gold. So side note, it was actually not trimbo ye gold, it was gold yangeri shape ye trimbo, not like gold plated can, no, yanga tori trimbo ye goridera, yanga tori goridera ngakaitwa trimbo. And then that lady over where diniko ningi, I need to come over, let me talk to you. So dopaka uzwakuti like, there's a particular gift that's on you, and that particular gift just needs you to activate it, because it was supposed to go kuvana vambuya vako. So mbuya vako paimbofamba vachibvunza gore renzara vanga vakamboudzwa vachiri muroora munyowani kuti pavana venyu pachauya kundiso chichi kuchauya munhu wemvura. So she was expecting one of her kids to do that, but that I couldn't come pavana vavo vasikana, because right, and only your dad was the pure one. Your other dad's brothers were not pure. Only your dad was pure. But because I'm a woman, I couldn't come to him, because there are certain body parts that I can't see, you know, that type of thing. So I had to wait for his seed, and I chose you because Nangonoti, you know, you are very acceptable, and yeah, I chose you. So because Njuzu yangeri pana gogo ava was the type of Njuzu yeri clean chichi singadi zvinhu feature natite. So, you know, that's why that's where Pawori, but I need you to tell your grandma, no hard feelings, you know, I'm really sorry, but at least know your palms growing, you know, that type of thing. So talk to her. And she was like, okay, cool. So she remembers, like, tell me a true Taura. These ladies are just behind us. The mermaids are behind us. And they actually look like the mermaids that we know, right? They are behind her. But the skin was like glossy, like shiny type shape. And then this lady, I got to like a real person, but with like long white hair. You know, white hair, this is on a tema, like when it's white and stuff like that. And she remembers what she pinda mvura, like they're just walking and she remembers what she like they're walking on water. And this lady over told me, okay, so yeah, that's what's up. But you know, from time to time I'll be communicating with you, but these are my friends. You know, sometimes it's easier for them to come to you than for me to come to you, because we have blood, and some cases are just too. Let me explain it the best way I know how to. You know how when you're a police officer or a detective and your wife, your husband, or your relative disappeared, and they tell you don't work on the case? Exactly. So sometimes she can't reach her because of that, right? So anyway, okay, fine. And actually, that lady called her. She's like, yeah. So there was a particular room where in that OR. In that room there were like some precious jewels, precious stones, and she remembers like that lady took a lot of diamonds and stuff. And then she was actually talking to her like, yeah, chichi, and then she and then ma any, are you okay? And she's like, okay, tell your dad to utilize these things. And she's like, okay, cool. And then kumba kwake ashika kumba, she put all that stuff past pillow. And then when she woke up in the morning, they just became money, like pure money. And she remembers giving her dad that money, and she's like, Daddy, oi. And the dad is like, wapi nani? And she's just like, use it to start a business, okay? Don't ask too many questions, use it to start a business. The dad told the mom, and the mom is like, yeah, do it. Because anga told go, this is what was said, Gigi. And then the mom was like, Gee, do it, because this was supposed to be your gift, but because you're a man, your gogo cannot come power direct. So she's doing it through your child. So embrace that gift. And you know, she says pamba paigara pani green like 365, and people knew it was to do with anyhow, you okay. And vanhu vaishanda kumapurazi kwambuya vake and whatnot never wanted to leave, because there was prosperity yaitika ipapo, and they knew they could feed off that. So it was a matter of, if someone is old, they leave the job to their child, you know, that type of thing, because that's how people enjoyed the Maria Ngeri Papo and the peace and everything that was there, okay? So there were times where Annie would be called kuya kumvura, like, you know what, come and see our life. Sometimes she'd take a walk, nagogo. She would shape shift. Sometimes she'd come as a human, sometimes she'd be like a mermaid, sometimes she'd be like a fish, literally like a literal fish. So she would just change shape and form and whatnot. Sometimes she'd come as a dog. Yeah, sometimes she'd come as a dog. I'll tell you about the dog story, right? So she remembers there was a time and there was a mermaid that had a tongue, you know, and that's when she was told, these are the bad mermaids that fuck things up for us, you know, those are the mermaids. So we're just punishing her to tell her others, Kuti, don't do that and stuff like that. So she would be shown how they create things, how they would weave things like baskets, how they would create clothes, how they would, you know, everything, like just how they live their life. And she remembers one particular day she came as a dog at Kochikoro. So they were writing exams, and imbwa yakangopinda class, but she says for some reason it looked like a person to me. It felt so familiar. So time you're on your exam that imbwa imbwa, you know, like people were like imbwa, and the invigilators are like chill, it looks like it's just around if it's tongo famba chichi. And then anzi akatendera pa desk pango 3 times, and paya tendera those 3 times, it's like it was telling me what to do. And she remembers just writing answers quick, and then that dog just left, and everyone was like, my sister, of course we would said IU. And after those exams, she remembers at that time I got grade 5. She remembers that night go coming like pa HBMB Davarivega, and she was like, I just thought I should tell you, Kuti, I thank you for accepting us whenever we call you. Thank you for answering. That's what we need. But takufana kumboyenda urufana kushika kana wazoshika wa mukadzi chaiye tichazouya. She told her grandma about, okay, so it means you need to go for your menses first, and then they will come to you. And she's like, oh, it makes sense. Touche. Okay. And you know, Ovaenda for her menses when she was 14, nothing happened. 15, 16, 17, 18, the day she turned 18, akamuka akatota gogo mndiana ndimwe yamvura, you know, that type of thing. And everyone was like, okay, so this is the message, they are coming, they are on their way. And she was like, what? And they said, yeah, they are definitely coming, so we need to have a ritual and ask them, Kuti, what should we do? And Ndovava famba, that's when she was told, Kuti, don't worry, just be patient, the ladies are gonna come to you, and when they come to you, just do whatever they want you to do. And she's like, okay, fine. So just after her periods, her menses, I'm really sorry I used that word, I know some of you don't like that word, you're like, oh, gross, but whatever. After her menses, she remembers achito ona that lady ovadzoka foot in the form of a dog, and she was just like, what should I do? And then that lady was just sleeping on her, that imbwa was sleeping on her. She's just petting it like, are you okay, you know, that type of thing. And after a few days, she came back, but now with 3 mermaids she knew of and 2 guys that she knew of, and they gave a couple of necklaces, a couple of bangles, a couple of earrings, and they're like, wear these to celebrate your birthday. And she celebrated her birthday because her birthday was on school day. She celebrated her birthday, and anotaroti now what happened per birthday, you know, people are celebrating on arukufara trugoja nyama trita say. So pani time yakanzina babaki wakura ke chimbotesta mamba, you know, that type of thing. You know how dads will be like, 18 now, you need to be like your father more and drink, you know, that type of thing. And she remembers time yakanwa, and she just changed, and she just started dancing, you know, like a mommy water now, say I know Sabi or mommy with a dance, but I'd like to assume now, so you be like, so na belly dance. I know that's a snake, but waiting, not they concern me, for I know no Sabi. So anyway, and then Batanga Tamba, and it said Kuti, there were a couple of beautiful ladies who just came from Norway, 3 ladies, and they gave a very beautiful gifts, and they just left. So because of Rama gift, that's when she knew the ladies came to bless the birthday, and on the night of her birthday, she disappeared. Angari makumbezi make, but she just disappeared. She remembers Chimtorachi, you know what, we are gonna go for a long time. You know, you're gonna be gone for a long time, but don't worry, you'll be back. So she's just like, oh, okay. She just remembers like Pambida Pakajizio to Pakasara Pakatota, and no one did anything because they knew Kuti. Okay, so that basically means Kuti she'll be back. They've taken their child. Kune Manufungoti, oh, certain things need to happen for you kudunzi waningirikina wa toro and Njuzu unofana ushkomvura. When it wants you, it come, no matter where you there, it come, okay? But if you had not been taking its instructions and whatnot, that's why they come by force, not by force. But you see this girl, Abby, she the answer when they call them and whatnot. So they just came in a nice way, like Uruguya, and they gave a sign, a signal. She says, girl, I thought I was gone for a week, but I was thought I was gone for a month. That whole month, she was taught how to do things like kubika, certain things for her, not like just for everybody. She had certain meals that she has to eat. Till now, there are certain things that she can't take. For example, milk. And milk is considered dirty by the mermaids, so she can't have it. I don't mean all mermaids when I say this. I mean her type of mermaid and her ancestor. They don't do that. So she doesn't have milk. She doesn't take kumbo for. So basically, this girl doesn't eat pork. This girl doesn't eat beef. Imagine. Because remember, zvinhu zvine makumbo for, like cows, they are taken for sacrifices, so they can't eat. I don't know, the pork, I would like to believe maybe it's because it also has 4 legs, so like a cow, that type of thing. So I choose like how she eats certain things, who does her hair, not everyone does her hair, who does things for her, like not everyone gets to do things, services for her, you know what I mean. So anyway, she was there for a month and she was just told kuti munhu kana akarwara neichi unoita so, munhu akarwara neichi unoita so, munhu akadyiswa chakati unomurutsisa so, kurutsisa munhu akadyiswa how to lure the bed mermaids to her side so that she can like fix them, you know what I'm trying to say, like to eradicate those bed mermaids. She was just taught things like aura farming, Tasha. Anyway, yeah, so oh shit. So yeah, she came back after a month, but the time she came back, she had to send messages kuti ningi, we need to do this and this and this so that so basically daddy rake was done underwater and messages were being sent. Sometimes mafish ndwaitungonze nemnopa message akati, and sometimes sekuraendo vaiuya vachiudzwa the message kuti itai so. Apparently nganga dzedze dzinenge dzichinzi dzinobatsira chichi dzinotoenda kutonotaura nemamermaids live and direct. So that Sekro was told things to do. She remembers like Muswaka Buddha, that was the day pakavabetwa bira rekuti mbuya, everything was there, everything that was needed was there, and ndobva Buddha na mbuya Njuzu bata Buddha and stuff like that. And she just started helping people. So basically she helps people vanodyiswa veve kuti varutse, anobatsira vanhu vanodyiswa kunzi varutse, anobatsira like vanhu vane health issues, anobatsira obviously. And she sees certain things that other people can't see, especially before they happen, and how she can help people to whatever, you know what I'm trying to say. She's just a spiritualist, if I should put it that way. She is not married because she chose not to get married, not because Njuzu Chichi, she just chooses not to get married. She believes people will contaminate her and the gift that she has. In simple terms, she's never had a boyfriend, she's never kissed anyone, she's never, you get what I'm saying, she's just a pure person. That's what I'm just trying to say. So it's not because of the mermaids, it's just her as a person, I think, and I don't know. But they never told her to never get married or anything. She says sometimes they even ask me to uchapedza life where get that type of thing, like kombi and stuff like that. But she's older than me, obviously, so she's like 6 years older than me, and everything is just making sense for her. She feels like she does not need a child, she does not need a husband. Those things just complicate her spiritual life because it's just at the maximum height of a spiritual life. As you can tell, that's where the life is at. She says sometimes vanouya vari champopuri, so she can walk around nadzo Njuzu, and most people actually get it. She's that type of person where like when you look at her, she's not a normal person, you know what I'm trying to say. You'll be like, there's definitely something on her, not like in a bad way, but those people just have that aura. You just okay, you know what I mean. She's just one of those people. So she walks around with the mermaid sometimes, and they tell her kuti itaso in the form of champopuri. She can walk around with them like in broad daylight. In the form of dogs, she can walk around with them in broad daylight. She has a lot of dogs, and sometimes those mermaids company. But she says, time and time again, she goes to the water because she's more of an amphibian, if I should put it that way. Amphibians, like frogs, they can be on land and on water. That's basically what she's like. So she does split life living when she needs help with certain things. She goes there. She also helps some spiritualists in Zimbabwe who want to help Vanonyedzi and Njuzu and whatnot. And time again, she's directed to places where Unamba to run Njuzu, and she has to take them. That's her expertise. Like to bring them back to life, like the normal life, and that type of thing. That's her specialty, right? So yeah, that's it. I honestly hope y'all enjoyed this because it just feels fun and amazing when someone like that opens to you and tells you this type of stories. Now I know there's something that I forgot to tell you. The blanket. When she was in the water pakatora for a month. When she arrived, vakamupa the blue blanket. Apparently her color is blue, just blue, no other color, just that particular blue. Do you still remember this? And she's like, oh yeah, sorry, from where? And they're like, yeah, we know you forgot. And they told her the story, and exactly how her mom said it, that's how they told her, like, yeah, so we took the blanket because we're like, that's baby girl's color, let's work on it. So they were working on her jira, you know what I mean? And for her, they said blue was the color because, you know, we tend to say water is blue, you know what I'm trying to say. Well, blue signifies water basically, right? So life, she's a bringer of life, everything she does brings life. Remember ndakuzetikanachi udzavana about gogoro anonayo daiso mvura as well, you know what I'm trying to say. So yeah, that's Annie, are you okay slash mommy water story. You know, this is the point where I say, guys, this is just me sharing stories. I'm not trying to hook you up with these people who tell me stories with you and people number, y'all make it difficult for me. So that's why I just end up being quiet and not respond to those type of messages. We just sharing. Yeah, I don't want y'all saying, yeah, takaso, you know, Max when did trauma story time. There's a TikToker, I don't know those people. I always tell you. That's why I know there's Sabiamo. Now entertainment and education we they do for, not to look for links and what. You know what I mean? But anyway, stay safe, y'all. If you're in Cape Town, Western Cape, sorry, Amandla, you'll be fine. Okay, you'll be fine. Love and my friend Tanya says love and light to y'all. So yeah, love and light to y'all and kisses. Bye bye.